Yeah, I mean, the biggest pain in the ass about having a big old hamster voice is it's so loud. Yeah, I talk here and my guitar is ringing because it's that. Oh my God, I know. Hello and good morning. 12:51. I thought I would just do something real quick. I happened to run across Layla Grey. Layla was one of the contestants in the Vice feminist debate. You may remember. Layla was the kind of sitting at the bottom next to Badge Girl, the crazy person. Hey, Zombro. Hey, Pluskin. Snaky. What's up? What's up? Anyway, Layla was in this whole thing, and it turns out she's conservative. Now, you may have noticed that from some of her answers. But she put a video up about her experience, and I thought maybe we'd go through it here while I'm kind of can't sleep because there's a lot of bullshit going on with the hamster. So while we're here, let's hear from Layla Grey. Layla,
It was definitely a challenge.
how much do you want to bet her parents were somewhere in the 90s? And Eric Clapton had Layla, the acoustic version, in 1991. They're saying, it's a strong possibility. You never know. Go ahead, sweet.
It was definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
Like, I remember just being really pissed off.
Yeah, we could hardly tell, though, because you're very calm. You really didn't get all... Well, you were sitting right next to Badge Girl. I don't know how you kept your sanity, but well done.
In the beginning, like really upset. I was just like really irritated.
I strongly think that feminism is more of an action than an identity.
Feminism is a mental illness. Little pixie boy, little Peter Pan up there. Feminism is a delusional mental illness. And what has to happen is there's got to be a big intervention here at some point to help people like this, even Badge Girl over here. These people are insane. There's no other way to look at it. They're insane. They have been brainwashed and propagandized. These people are not evil. They're not mean. They're just crazy. There's a difference. Anyway, this is Layla here in the skirt here. Nice. Okay, go ahead.
Feminism will never be dead. There's something that we're always going to have to strive and work towards.
Yes, getting some mental help. That would be a start. I mean, we could set up a government program, I suppose. I mean, the government is fond of spending money on fucking everything else. Why don't we spend money to help these women get their brains back in order? Wouldn't that be fun, Layla? At least you're still sane. That's good.
As long as there's power and oppression, there will be people fighting for equity.
Fighting for equity. Equal outcome. Well, at least the mask is dropped off. Not hearing about equality anymore, are we? No. Now it's equity. Equal outcome. We want it because we don't want to work for it. Oh my God.
I think feminism isn't actually about equality. It's about equality when it benefits us.
No, it's a mental disease, Pearly. I mean, we can beat around the bush and we can say, well, blah, blah, and just come right out and say it. It's a mental disorder. Sorry. These people are living in a delusion. They believe they are as oppressed as slaves in this country or Jewish folks during the 1930s and 1940s in Germany. These people are nuts. They live in the most privileged countries in the world, in the West, and they still believe they're oppressed. You just got to call it out. It's time to quit pussyfooting around here. This is not a movement. This is mental illness. Anyway, Layla, I'm sorry. Go on, Layla.
They're going to keep fighting.
I'd say it's alive.
Fighting for what?
I think
fighting for what? What are you fighting for?
looks like is going to differ depending on where you are in the world.
I find that a lot of feminist ideology and thought today feels more of like a supremacist movement rather than something that is supposed to be advancing the goals of equality.
Yeah, I definitely think it's getting more and more radicalized for sure.
There she
So
is.
It's definitely still alive.
Okay. I'm going to stop there. 'Cause let me just say,
Mhm.
I was already pissed.
No. Really? We could barely tell. You look like you're about to rip someone's face off.
Don't go off. That was like what was going through my head. But anyway.
I don't
Yeah.
know so much about modern Western.
Badge girl. How did you get so lucky, Layla, to sit next to this monster? Oh no.
Feminism and their
And can I just say how great it was that I got to sit next to this character?
Badge girl, the Afghani woman who claims claims in Islam you could get all the abortions you want because it's just better there. Right.
By the end of the show, like toward the middle of the show, I just had sort of like rotated my body fully just to like deflect all of the
I mean, did you have to take a shower too? I mean, ew. Yuck.
vibes. Like it was intense.
I believe in the advancement of women, whoever considers themselves a woman.
Of course you do. Because that's what you have to do to be a part of this mental illness cult. Well, feminism is all about equality, even for people who aren't women. Oh my God. Gentlemen, we have to start calling it out as it is. It's nationwide. It's worldwide. Mental illness. Go on.
Whoever considers themselves a woman, and this is really interesting because it really speaks to how little women, I feel, value themselves.
They don't care about women, Layla. You know that. They care about power. They don't care how they get it. They don't care what is getting upset as long as they're causing some kind of trouble. These are not feminists. Well, they are, and they're mentally ill, but they're Marxists. They're useful idiots. It doesn't matter what trouble is being caused as long as there's trouble. Right? Makes perfect sense that anyone who says they're a woman is a woman. Of course. Because it confuses people. It upsets what we consider to be somewhat normal. They don't like normal. And they especially don't like the West. Go on.
Because you're going to reduce you like dilute it. Anybody who considers themselves a woman, that makes you a woman. Like it's insane to me. Like it's
Doesn't matter.
Honestly ridiculous.
No, it doesn't matter, Layla. It makes no difference. They could say that dogs can suddenly identify as cats. It doesn't matter. They just need to stir up some shit. That's all. And get attention, and then at the same time claim they're for women's rights because women are so oppressed in the West in 2023. Oh, God.
I don't know why they want to take it there. I don't know. If you
Just to cause trouble. That's all.
or if anyone can be a part of your group, it's somehow less exclusive.
You mean if everyone can be a part of your group, it really doesn't mean anything.
It's less mystique, less power, less.
It's kind of like if everyone's a Nazi, no one's a Nazi. Right?
Importance in society because it could be anybody.
Yeah.
I don't see that strategy, that long-term game plan, how that's going to.
Do you think they care? Layla, they don't care. They only seek to cause trouble, to upset the apple cart, so to speak. Doesn't matter how they do it. If the manual transmission thing blows over, they'll find something else. That's the way these people work. Go on.
Help women, especially since you can just declare yourself one at any time.
Yeah.
I think as a Black woman specifically.
Of course you are. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me tell you, Speaking from me, because I'm a black woman of color. Right.
When you talk about feminism, the mainstream first thing you think about is a certain type of feminism that tends to exclude still, even today, even with intersectional feminism.
Who really gives a shit what this mental group, this mental disorder, these nut jobs consider themselves a real feminine? Nobody cares. These people are insane. There's no other way to put it. These people are nuts. They need intervention. Go on.
Include African-American women, and it's always kind of done that.
I had to look this up because I'm not really well versed in any of this, and I had to look it up. Okay, because apparently, like, some groups of women are like mad and jealous at other groups of women because of their privilege or whatever.
Yes.
Which is really, like, I get it.
The snake is eating its own tail. Good. I hope it eats itself.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't think they get it, why that happened.
They don't even know, Layla. They don't care. They just believe. Oh, yeah, I believe in a bunch of nonsense that isn't real. What does that tell you? A mental illness.
I don't think they do.
And has predominantly been the face of what we quote unquote consider feminism.
I think feminism is attempting to say, okay, the first thing we agree on is that there are barriers and friction to what I need and what I want based on the fact that I'm a woman. What did it?
Hello, Thumper. How are you? Killa Hayes. Yes, sir. Love to watch them devour themselves. It's a snake eating its own tail. It's a beautiful thing. I wish it would just get some help and forget about this nonsense. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen.
Ignores is that, and what privilege is that you may not have to think that being a woman and being a black woman and being a black woman who has a disability, for example, impacts you further.
There's a competitive nature to this reality. If you were like a genius who was super wealthy, also like an incredible athlete who doesn't get sick, like sort of like Gattaca style future reality, it's still not perfect. It's still competitive nature of reality. I don't understand.
It'll never be perfect, but I mean, that's what they're allegedly going for, the utopia, where everything is equal and everything. Even then, if you know, the god of utopia came in and said, okay, snap your fingers, Thanos comes in, everything's perfect, they'd still bitch. Because it's not about rights, it's not about women, it's about a mental illness.
And why that's like a bad thing. I feel like it is what it is. It's a game. Like, play it.
I'm not going to speak anything to race. I'm just talking about gender specifically. It's usually like an excuse. Like, honestly, I think as a girl, you have equal opportunity in the world. I think there's benefits. Like, for example, we have quotas for women in specific jobs that are given to us that aren't given to men. So yeah.
Affirmative action. Yeah. Various special goodies just for women because they's oppressed. They's oppressed, don't you know, in the West. And these people still believe it. Oh my God.
I would say it's easier being a girl.
Just from a viewpoint over here, though, it seems there's a lot of pretty privilege in what you're saying. And that
oh my God, yes, pretty privilege, sure, right.
You're white and you present.
Do you think I'm pretty? Thank you.
I think that you present in a way that beauty standards have accepted. And so
they call me ugly on the internet all the time.
I like this is hilarious because they do call her like names on the internet all the time.
Oh yeah.
And, like this was when I was just like, wow, leftists really worship whiteness. Like, really? Like, if you're just white, that's all you need. If you just present with a certain look, then you're obviously beautiful and amazing.
Unless you're a white man, then you're the evil, nasty Nazi of the world.
Perfect. Like, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. It really is jealousy, though, isn't it? At some point. I mean, the woman without her legs here, I get it. You know, she's pissed off. She got a shitty hand dealt to her by life. Okay. I understand.
Maybe be roasting me daily. I swear to God.
I don't mean to say I think you're
Special treatment.
Oh, you're just so gorgeous, Pearly. You're just so gorge.
No, but it's because there have historically and presently in most jobs been fewer.
Shut the fuck up. Why is this person here? This is not a woman. This is a man. Why is this person here? No uterus, no opinion. Remember all that bullshit? Okay.
Fewer women.
Right.
Because of sexism.
How is it
Right,
sexism when we have no barriers today? So
Yeah. How is it? Well, because it is. And I don't care what the reality is. La, 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 la. Plug your ears and scream to yourself. We are oppressed because I say we are. But you're not.
we can
Who
pick
has
what we
no
want to pick.
barriers?
It doesn't have barriers.
Women don't have barriers?
Women, yeah. What's
We have
stopping
no
you? You can do
barriers.
whatever you want. What's
I
stopping
can
you?
or you can.
What's stopping
Okay. All right.
you? As a woman.
As a woman.
See,
That ignores a lot that I'm a woman with a disability. So there's a lot stopping me that you don't have to think about.
Well, as I
You don't
said
have to
before,
think about.
speaking about
What is she now responsible for genetic mutations?
Of course, because she's white, I guess, and pretty. Yes.
Oh my God. No. This part of the conversation went on like pretty long in terms of what people were saying. And I remember talking about if you have a cell phone, you don't have any limitations. Like you can go get into STEM. Like it talked about STEM, talked about a lot of different things. So it's like, it's insane to use that as an excuse. Like it's literally insane to use that as.
It is insane because the movement itself is a mental illness, Layla. When are we going to start getting these people the help they need to understand that they have a brain problem?
The excuse, like you have a barrier. Oh, they tricked us. Nobody tricked you. You have a cell phone. Go look it up. You want to become anything? Go look it up online on your phone. Just pick up your phone.
And I think somebody said this. There's been plenty of responses to this video. But it's like, she believes she's oppressed. Is she any more oppressed than a man in her situation? Or anyone else? Dealt a hand of shit? No.
There's no excuse. It's so ridiculous.
women.
You're speaking for yourself.
You're speaking as an
able-bodied
able-bodied.
You're speaking for yourself, wheelchair lady. You mean I don't have any me?
Hate women. So you're just going to ignore
White
the
women have it
pay gap.
easier. Yes.
It's the industry.
I think the fact of the matter is that women structure their lives differently to men.
Mm.
Men don't give birth. Men don't have to carry pregnancies. Men don't have to be the primary caregiver.
And this is what I hate about feminism is it doesn't value anything that's like innately feminine.
It doesn't value anything that doesn't participate in their mental delusion. You want to be a stay-at-home mother? You're evil. How could you do that? You're just a traitor. You suffer from internal misogyny. Feminism purportedly about choice for women. Well, seems like women have a choice, but they can only choose our way, or else they're defective. And they're part of the patriarchy. You see what I'm saying, Layla?
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Like, it doesn't value that. It doesn't, it values you like the radical feminists. Like it values you if you get abortion, but it doesn't value if you decide to, keep your child. Like, or it's so disturbing how that aspect is. And I brought that up on the panel where it's like, especially when we're talking about abortion later on, but it's like, where's that balance? Where is it?
There is no balance because it's a mental illness. See.
Off, they'll take part-time jobs. The way that men work and women work are astronomically different. And to try to say that they're comparable is where this issue comes from. They're not comparable.
Two things. First of all, let's dig into.
First of all, you're not a woman. Not you, Sydney, but the other one.
Why they think
Peter Pan
that,
over here.
They should take these jobs, which is
You're not a female. Shut the fuck up. Play by your own rules. No uterus, no opinion. Go away.
Societal sexism, and then also actually Department of Labor, all statistics, at least speaking in the US.
See, it used to be that way, right? If you don't have a uterus, you don't have an opinion, or your opinion doesn't matter. Suddenly that's different these days, isn't it?
Like there are the barriers, right, that we constantly ignore.
Like, yes, the barriers that we constantly ignore because they're not there, man. Pearlie and Sid asked several times, name a barrier. No one named anything.
Barriers. I want to know what barriers in the US today as a woman.
Well, as a woman or as a woman of color?
Oh, well, see, there you go.
Be specific.
As a woman, I said
we
as
don't,
a woman.
Well, no, I can't answer as a woman.
I
I'm
just feel like
not
your
a woman.
question.
I can't answer as a woman. Because being a woman is not oppression. It's not. I'm not being oppressed, but maybe a person of color, I can find a way.
An answer is a woman. Like,
exactly. It's just such nonsense.
it's insane. Okay. There's no way you interact in the larger society. Like, oh my God, I get it. I get it. Like,
It's victim
I get
points.
It. I get it. It's different, obviously. I get it. Like, I get it. But at the same time, it's different because Black culture is different. It's different because, every culture has a right to value certain things, and we're not a homogenous group where we all behave and value the same thing. Each culture values different things, different aesthetics, different, like all these different things. And so that sort of ties into how the larger society behaves and reacts to you,
Right? Kind of hostile when you're like, there are no barriers to what I want. Congratulations. That means you have the privilege where you're not facing any friction. And that's
Tell me the benefits a man in your situation has over you. Tell me, what is harder for you as a woman in a wheelchair compared to a man in a wheelchair? Help us understand.
showing, and I feel like it's
I think as an American, you're very privileged.
I'm not ignoring that.
And we have less lean muscle mass than men. So there are issues
Weird
of
cut.
violence.
Do you see like Matrix Peter Pan back there, like getting so upset? Getting so upset. He's like, oh, ugh. It's so
my
funny
God.
to me. Okay.
And assault and stuff like that. And so therefore there are policies, there are things to help women physically, like for example, I believe being able to carry a firearm and being able to use that safely to defend yourself against men who are born naturally with more muscle mass than a woman.
So upset, so upset, so
Yes.
angry, so angry.
The problem is they know they're wrong. They know they're lying. Even if they're mentally nuts, they know they're lying. And it's got to be mentally taxing to try to keep all this shit straight. I'm oppressed. Really? How are you? Oh my God. You can't ask me. I'm a person of color. Just answer the question. How are you oppressed? What are these barriers? They can't answer it because they're not equipped. They're expecting to say, oh, I'm a woman and I'm a woman of color and I'm oppressed. So you just have to believe me. Listen and believe. And when pushed back upon, their brain short circuits. They don't know what to say because they literally don't know what to say.
Feminists, like you're mad that women want to be able to defend themselves
No.
and protect themselves. You're upset about that?
Yes, they are because, well, men just shouldn't do that. We just need to have a discussion with men and tell them not to do those things. Right? That always works. Works well with every criminal. Just tell them not to do that. Right?
Because you need to have your fantasy that somehow there's no such thing as biological sex.
I mean, that's the mental delusion. It's the mental illness. Well, if we just sit down and talk to these grapefruit artists and tell them not to do that, then I wouldn't have to defend myself because it's just me. Is that not a mental illness, gentlemen? Yes, it is.
Disgusting. It's disgusting. It's insulting. It's insulting. Like, it's insulting.
So they're able to.
I keep hearing the term equity. What would a world that has equity look like? Like,
It would be the end of time, is what it would look like. That's what it would look like, Pearly. You need to stop being nice to these people. And I know you're generally a nice person. You got to start calling them out on their bullshit. What would a world look like? A world full of communism. That's it.
Would it be 50% of everyone in the same jobs? Would it be like prison?
No.
50%.
That's equality.
50%.
No. Oh, come on, Pearl. No. It's all women in positions of power and all men being tax slaves serving those women in power. That's what equity is.
So what does equity look like?
So equity is generally described as a state of fairness because historically a lot of people have been arguing for equality. But
again, why are you even here?
Does that give us? I have like 0.5 of the 1% being women. This doesn't
We don't care. Go away.
really do anything for us. And so people have talked about equity instead, which is instead of sameness, it's fairness.
It's socialism. Pearl, call them on their bullshit. It's socialism, communism / whatever the fuck. It's what's been tried for the last 150 years in various places, and it's never fucking worked. It always ends up with rivers of blood. Always.
Yeah,
but
It's not a fair question. It's
how is it not a fair question?
Kind of proving the point of why what people, especially Black women, other people who are anybody who's not,
Especially Black women. Especially Black women. Really? Okay. What are the barriers in your way? Oh, well, geez, I mean.
why we hear feminism and we don't want that label because it means, I'm just going to say, it means that. Like, it means that you've already gotten to a pinnacle of whatever you think your happiness needs or whatever your survivalist needs are. Christ. When there are people on lower end.
My needs. A lot of people have needs. And your point would be what? You would like to have everything handed to you because you're a woman of color.
Are trying to survive, who are trying to get to a point of what should be normal. Based on what other people have.
It sort of sounds like you're saying feminism is not always inclusive then.
I think it's the mindset. Women taking like the agency, women taking initiative. I think it's mindset holding them back a lot, because if you want to be in a competitive world and compete, you have to have the right mindset. And I think a lot of people blame their lack of confidence or what society tells them for the reason that they're not achieving what they need to achieve, when that's not the case. You have to have the mindset of achieving.
What the hell was that, Sydney? Jesus, what are you doing?
I think a lot of people blame their lack of confidence or what society tells them for the reason that they're not achieving.
Hi, Sydney. Would you like to go out on a date with a hamster?
They need to achieve, when that's not the case. You have to have the mindset of achieving, because the men who built the world had the mindset of building it. So the women who want to engage and build that further, they need to have that same mindset.
Don't you know what you're saying, Layla? You just said men built the world. Don't you know women hold up half the sky? Oh my God.
I don't think we do. I think that's like assuming that we all want to be capitalist babies.
Right.
I don't know what the hell you want to be, but you need mental help, dear. Go get some counseling. You really need something.
I think that men are not
Capitalist babies. Correct me, but isn't like the Marxist utopia where they like can work for 3 hours at their chosen dream job and then like spend the rest of the time making like SoundCloud tracks?
No. The Marxist utopia is where they sit around and do nothing and everybody else gives them shit. It's lovely. It's lovely.
No, I don't know. They don't like the whole idea, the whole thing about like Marxism and communism and all this is that they don't have to be an adult and function and survive on their own. They can just be babies in the
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, Layla. John Smith, yep. 25-year-old incel grandpa. Hamster, I want to send you a meme of Tomato Bish. Okay, go ahead. JamesVonMaxwell@gmail.com. Zombro. Twitter before Elon. Oh, back. I try actually. I signed up for Twitter again just for the hell of it because Elon is there. He's our man, so to speak. I don't remember my password. It's like, fuck it. Rusty Rivers, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Cubing speed is here. Did you find some 40 Coors beer there, sir? Down in Louisiana. Rigs. Set them up with some... What are you saying? It's always about schlongs with you, Rigs. Why?
in the government like system and get like their food rations, their money rations, their clothes, and then just spend their time hanging out and having fun.
No. Here's the thing, Layla. They believe, just like every other useful idiot that has ever existed, that they will be the ones in power. They're not going to have to do anything. They're just going to live off the fat of the land. They're going to be at the tippity top. They're going to be running the show. As every useful idiot thinks to himself as he's dragged out to the friggin' gallows. That's the way it's always worked. They think they're going to be in charge. They're going to be worm food when the Great Revolution happens.
Like, that's babyhood.
Not well adjusted into society, and women are not trying to re-embody what they have built for us. I think that.
Except you're jealous of what they have and you want it. So that I don't understand.
I mean, look at Badge Girl. She's an attractive woman living in the West. She has more privileges in the West. She lives a better lifestyle than any king or queen in the past. And she's still bitching. She's still bitter. That's why I say, Layla, this is a mental disorder. There are a few other ways to say it. These people are mentally ill.
What we're forgetting is a very important detail, which is just like human respect and dignity.
Yeah,
and not asking people to prove what their experience is. And
I'm kind of wondered if she's a plant. I'm not sure anyone could be this freaking nuts, honestly.
to prove to you, like, it is like such conservative thinking to say, like, I don't understand, explain it to me, versus
just listen and believe. Right?
just saying, I don't understand, and let me respect what you are
No,
saying.
I'm respecting
right?
wherever your starting point. I'm respecting that. I'm really respecting that. I'm saying that if you don't have the mindset you can even achieve it, you're never going to even try. So it's
But
never
achieve what? Like, what are we talking about?
Achieve
Because I
a
feel like you
fair
projected this
world.
like
No,
capitalist ideology on everyone.
Like, I was just like, whatever fantasy world thing that you think is the problem. I was just like, what the hell is
wrong with this person, Layla? You can say it. There's something going on upstairs here that ain't right.
I was like, what? Like, by this point, also, this conversation was a lot longer and it was edited down. And they said some like really crazy stuff. And I was just like, what are you like? What is the problem? Like, I'm just giving you a clear, a clear roadmap. Like, if you don't want to be a victim,
then don't be one.
Then don't act like one.
Yes.
Then just think that, okay, I can do what I want. No one's going to stop me. It's going to work out. Like,
Right.
How is that so controversial? I don't understand how that's controversial.
One might think some people use that as an excuse because they fail. Well, I was going to be this or that. It's because of the oppression. Or maybe you just suck. Maybe it's that.
It's just basic like survival. Like stop. I was just like, oh my God, what is this? Like, what is like, I forgot what she said, but it was just like, what are you even talking about? Like, whatever it is that you want, just stop complaining. Please just stop complaining. Like,
Right.
That's step one.
Woman. Achieve whatever it is you're looking for, equality, equity. But what I'm saying is women in the feminist space and a lot of these other spaces, we don't acknowledge that we have to take the initiative. We have to take the action. We have to have the mindset. We have to demand those things.
How many of you would identify as pro-choice?
Here we
Let's
go.
do a show of hands for pro-choice.
Yes.
I feel like pro-choice is pro-life, though. But
Yeah.
Pro-choice is pro-life. Mental illness.
yeah.
Okay, and folks who identify as pro-life, why do you identify as each?
You've gone from legal, safe, rare to, yeah, I'm so proud. Let me beatbox in front of the Planned Parenthood. Yeah, I got murder on my mind. The fact that it's celebrated that murdering children, especially in late-term pregnancies, is celebrated, that people are so proud of themselves for mutilating a fetus is just, it blows my mind. And I don't think that you need to be pro-life to even take that
And
stance.
you said late-term pregnancy.
Yes.
A lot of abortions do not happen.
I made
in
the
late-term
distinction.
pregnancy.
I made the distinction
Right.
specifically because
Right.
lots of people.
Well, you see, but it's okay then because it's only 48 weeks instead of.
Celebrate.
Listen, that's your body. You do you.
The child is
you
not
decide-
your
Right,
body.
right. But it's not your body. But we don't have to get down in the mud on this one.
A baby. It's so scary for me to hear people calling like guns the biggest equalizer for women, but taking their choices away from them at a policy level. Why
What
is that?
choices are being taken away from you? Badge girl. Oh my God, some states, you might not be able to get an abortion. You live in New York City. Shut the fuck up. You can get your abortion right up until the thing's coming out your vagina. So shut up.
Having a gun is an equalizer.
It is.
Having rights is an equalizer.
Yeah, that's
Having
right.
choice is
Right,
an equalizer.
just like a gun right.
And in this country,
You mean the rights that you already have? And yet you're still bitching that you have none. Right?
policies that are pushed to continue perpetuating patriarchy and
So I turned around
I saw that.
because Pearl,
women.
you have choice, and then I turned around and was like, well, that's too much work. So that's one thing I do remember, and that was funny. I thought it was really funny.
At a policy level.
Why is that?
Having a gun is an equalizer.
It is.
Having rights is an equalizer.
Yeah, that's
Having
right.
choice is
Right,
an equalizer.
just like a gun
The
right.
rights that you have already. Yes.
And in this country,
It's just like a gun right.
policies that are pushed to continue perpetuating patriarchy.
The patriarchy. Of course. Got to bring that up too, don't we? The patriarchy.
And anti-women.
And allegedly she's Islamic.
Like taking the autonomy away from women, it is heartbreaking.
You have every choice in the world, everywhere in the West. Shut the fuck up.
You know, through a lot of this conversation, I was wondering, is she commentating on like Afghanistan? Like she's Afghani.
No. She believes in Afghanistan it's better for women than in the United States. I don't know if you include that in the clip, Layla, but she says, well, Islam permits abortion, which is nonsense. No, they don't. But it doesn't matter. They can just make shit up and well, see how sucks it being there. Well, they're white people and men and
She commenting on like, is that really where she's coming from? Because I don't know. I was like, where is she complaining about?
it doesn't matter. She is a mental patient, or she should be. Feminism is a mental disease.
Pushing that propaganda. It's all brainwash. Like you.
Oh,
it
it's
is-
brainwash because you
I
don't
think-
agree with me.
No,
so
because
therefore
I've been
I'm
brainwashed. I have lived deeply.
Oh, it certainly is brainwashing, and you're a victim of it. badge girl.
institutionalized.
Man,
I have lived under Islam.
I'm not interested in any of that. Like, there's no like
You're not
jokes
interested
for
in
me.
women
No, I'm not interested in like
living.
thinking that like
Yeah, you're not interested in thinking. Boy, you got that right, dear. Layla, did you do that on purpose?
women are doing this really bad thing. Like in my religion, abortion is actually allowed. If the woman needs it, she's allowed because you
If
know
her life is in danger, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes. So tell me about the 99% of abortions in the United States where that is not the case. Is that too allowed in Islam? Does the Prophet Muhammad say, oh, sure, that's no problem. Go out and screw everybody you want. If you get knocked up, just suck it out with a vacuum cleaner. No. Fucking liar.
it's very
Is she using Islam? Is she
Yes.
really doing that?
Yes.
Like, is really?
Mhm.
I love leftist logic. It's so
There's
insane.
no such thing. It's not logic. It's illogic. It's insanity, Layla.
I don't think that it's allowed
No.
for you to just decide, oh, not today.
For the life of the mother. If the mother's life is in danger, it's allowed, yes. As far as I know, that's the only reason.
I'm gonna look for the hadith that covers that, where you can specifically, go out,
You won't find it.
be unmarried,
No.
get pregnant, and just decide, you need a Planned Parenthood open, so in case you can, do that. I'm sure that use case must exist in some hadith somewhere.
No. No, it doesn't. It only exists in this twisted, sick mind of this woman.
She wrote. I don't know. I don't think that's how it works, though.
Nope, it's not.
very interesting how like fundamental America is. Like
Oh.
fundamentalist.
This is nothing to
Very,
do.
very
Wait a
like,
minute. Whoa, wait a second. I believe she's referring to religion. Well, look at the evil American Christians that are running the world, and they're so hard. Really? Really? Okay. Again, there's no other way to say it. These people are nuts.
Even
deep
religion. This is very
conservative
basic,
thinking.
scientific, human rights.
We're also talking about people not having access to abortion clinics where
Uh-huh.
they're doing the things themselves and they die. Listen,
Doing them things themselves, and they die. Okay. Yeah. When has that happened lately? How many times did that happen in the past? Oh, you don't know because you've just been told that. Oh my God, women were having coat hangers. Really? Okay.
for whatever reason, you don't need to explain it to anybody.
You
But
don't
a lot of
explain it.
times when we're talking
doesn't
about
matter.
access to
It's
reproductive health,
irrelevant.
for me, I'm thinking about
Like
Black
facts are irrelevant and everything. So shut up.
indigenous people of color, particularly women.
Indigenous people of color. Oh my God. It just,
Girl.
it's remarkable.
Like, every time.
And you don't need to explain it to anybody, but
You don't need to explain it to no one, man. Right?
a lot of times when we're talking
Your parents are from the Dominican Republic, I believe. That wouldn't be indigenous. Oh, God.
about access to reproductive health, for me,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about Black indigenous people of color, particularly women and girls who are
Mhm.
working class.
Particularly women and girls. Oh, my God in heaven. Are you not including Peter Pan over here? Come on. She can have an abortion too.
Do not have even access to like proper sexual education.
Uh-huh.
It's the oppressive state of saying, I will force you to have a child even against your own will.
Nobody's forcing anyone to have a child. Shut the fuck up. The only people that are forced to become parents are men.
Right? Especially when you're thinking about women and girls who
By the
would
government.
be forced to have these children.
Do you notice? Okay, this is a great insight into propaganda. Do you notice how they say forced to have these children?
Yes.
As if there's like some period after you get pregnant, you can like just turn it off or something. Like that is a really crucial language
In most states, you can get an abortion early. No one is forcing women to have children. There are a lot of steps prior to when there's, well, when a lump of cells is created. Step after step after fucking step prior to getting pregnant. There's lots of choice there. But no.
Manipulation that they use, forcing someone to have a baby. No, you decided to enter into this whole process. Or I'm talking about the overwhelming majority. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the overwhelming majority who decided to, get into this whole process. So yeah, that whole forced language needs to be cut out like right away.
Only with respect to men, you can use it there correctly. The government will force you to become a parent against your will, but not women.
It's not.
And they shouldn't force women to have babies. I'm not saying that at all. They shouldn't force men as well. But that's just, sorry, tough noogies.
That's not how it goes. It's not forced unless it's, we're not going to say the word.
But I mean, even if it's rapé, Layla, there's still the morning after pill. There's the emergency contraceptive, which I think should be available free to every woman who shows up to get an examination after a criminal activity. Free. Here it is. Take it. You'll never have to worry. This is going to take care of, if there's a pregnancy there. Done. Give it for free to the victims of these crimes. I'm 100% on, take my money. Do it. Now, does that happen already? I'm guessing it does.
Ruling is marginally affecting people of color, people in poverty, way more than people who are going to get access to those abortions.
Actually,
okay, do you know the beginning where Planned Parenthood started? Do you know what it was about? Or is that an inconvenient fact you'd rather not talk about? See these women here? Planned Parenthood started out to take care of these human weeds. The words of Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood. Just in case you didn't know.
Incorrect. You're the misquote. There's actually more abortion.
It's all just social structure set up around bodies.
Pearl, I saw your hand up. Yeah.
I think women want to sleep around.
Okay, I just have to say, this conversation had devolved so severely. They had to come in multiple times and tell people to stop talking over each other. And if you wanted to say something, you better raise your hand and they'll call on you.
That's why they're raising their hand, is because these whinging harpies, my guess would be mostly the feminists, wouldn't shut up to let the other side talk. Because if the other side talks, in moments, all of their arguments fall apart. And so they can't argue their position, so they got to shut them up. I mean, this is not hard, is it? I think we've all got this one figured out.
That's how bad it was, because it was heated. The first portion of it was really, really long. It was a long conversation. And it was heated, and they couldn't get audio. So you had to raise your hand and you had to wait to be called on. And it's
right.
Yeah.
And not have any consequences.
Like a bunch of children. If we reduce it down to simple terms, like a bunch of brats in first grade.
Once for it.
Look at Layla. It's what the? Oh, I can feel your pain, sweetheart. I can feel your pain.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah. Instead of, taking personal accountability and being on birth.
What exact consequence? You're not going to get pregnant. Matrix Peter Pan is not going to get pregnant. I don't.
Exactly. Matrix Peter Pan is not a female. Is not a biological female. Matrix Peter Pan doesn't have the requisite parts. He, she, it can call herself a woman, but she ain't got a uterus and she ain't got a whatever the other parts are. Ain't gonna happen. Peter Pan.
I don't understand. Where?
You're not meant to understand, Layla. It's part of the deal. It's not supposed to make sense because it is confusing to everyone. That is the goal.
Where is it going to sit?
And plus, if I really want to come out and get out my tinfoil hat, where is it? I think this whole manual transmission thing is a psyop. I think there's something else going on that we don't know about, and they're using this to distract our attention. But go on.
This is insulting. It's insulting.
Hey, I've got, hey, excuse me, I have Alex Jones brand tinfoil here. I'm good. I'm good, man.
They want, okay. Why is it empowering to sleep around?
Yeah, why is it? Why is it that feminism wants women to act like the entire worst part of humanity? The worst men. Why does feminism want women to act like that? Just curious. I know the answer. Do you?
Women just wanted this, and I wonder why you have so much like hatred towards women.
I don't hate
Where
women.
does that root in? It's
You see, if you criticize the female, and especially if you criticize the feminist, you hate women. If you don't fully agree with whatever bullshit he's spewing, you are a misogynist. You're a Nazi. You're a fascist. You're a and you're evil white. This woman is mentally ill. There's something wrong with this person. Maybe she's not a woman. I'm sorry to misgender you.
Hey,
like
women.
you do.
I am a woman. Okay, the question was.
It's called internalized misogyny, Pearly. Did you not get the memo?
Why does abortion keep getting brought up? 40% of women that have had abortions have had 2 or more. 40%.
Good for
so,
them.
So what does that say to me? That means
Good for them. Good for them. Pearl, sweetheart, you could bring up statistics. You could bring down tablets from God and have proof that the tablets came from. It doesn't matter. They don't care.
they're using it as a form of birth control, and they don't track the 60%.
What kind of abortion?
I think actually that benefits men because it means that men can have sex with you without consequence. It means that you can sleep whoever you feel like, great, but there are consequences because women are the ones who get pregnant and carry babies and give birth.
Yeah, well, Sid, I have to disagree with you. There are consequences for men. Very, very big consequences. Now, in the case that you're talking about, he sleeps with her, she gets knocked up, she has an abortion. Okay. What if she doesn't? What if she keeps the baby? What happens to the man? But go on.
Very binary version of
yes,
sex.
because sex is binary. But please let me finish my point. It's true.
I love how
Oh,
Peter Pan's
God.
like,
Oh, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe what you're saying. What if I need an abortion? Well, Peter Pan, I don't know how that's going to work, but you can go to Planned Parenthood and see what they can do for you.
it's not bad. It's like, where is this going to be an issue for you?
Oh my God, you
Like, you're
saying
not-
I'm not a real woman. Oh my God, you transphobic person, you. There's no way to explain it, Layla. That's the point.
We're gonna carry a child. So why are you so upset? Like, it's a big deal for women.
Don't you know I need tampons as well? Even though I don't have the parts to do it. It's insanity, and it's insane on purpose.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Tricking women to
Yes.
thinking that aborting a pregnancy, terminating pregnancy is something to be celebrated, when in reality, for a lot
I see we have the Irish Rogue in the building. Hello, Satnar. Slanche. Tip one up. Oh my God, Thumper. Are you drinking tonight? Oh, you're just on fire, big boy.
Of women, especially those who are doing it under duress, you know, in the small circumstances where something really traumatic has happened to them. That's a medical decision.
Access reproductive health care.
Again, when it comes to abortion, and I don't have to sharpen the pencil too much here. If we just said, okay, you're right, it is completely legal. If the woman's health it already is legal, but we'll try to make the crazy people happy here. Okay. Abortion's legal in the case of if a mother's having if it's her life or the baby, okay. Right. Or in the case of a criminal activity, okay, perfectly legal. There you go. Corner case is done. Now what? You're happy with that? No. Of course not. Yet every single freaking time they keep bringing up the corner case. What about the woman who's going to die if she has that baby? Okay, well, make it legal. What? Yeah, that's legal. But what about this? It's legal too. Are you happy yet? Nope.
It's anti-woman, right?
Right.
It's
Of course it is.
How is it anti-woman to put the rights back to the states? Like,
It does
Doesn't matter, Layla.
not center people to have that voice for themselves and their.
Excuse me, democracy. Democracy. The leftists ought to be celebrating. Yeah, my democracy vote. Yeah. No. No.
Locally, the women.
Tell me what to do.
Locally,
I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't care what you do. It's none of my business. But if you ask me, what's your opinion, hamster? I would say take care of shit before you get knocked up. Well, but what about Jesus Christ? Stop.
Right.
Did Layla actually say something there?
Terminating pregnancy is
Well, she
something to
did.
be celebrated, when in reality, for a lot of women, especially those who are doing it under duress, you know, in the small circumstances where something really traumatic has happened to them, that's a medical decision.
Access reproductive health care.
It's anti-woman, right?
Yeah.
It's
No, it's
anti.
not. How is it anti-woman to put the rights back to the states? Like,
Because they do not have the votes, Layla. This one's easy. The reason they celebrate the Supreme Court decision in Roe 1973 is because it was a mandate. People never got to vote on it. And now they do, and they don't like that idea because reasons. Some states might prohibit abortion. Now, why people who live in New York or California give a flying fuck, I don't know. They're not going to ever have to worry about it. Really.
Does not center people to have that voice for themselves.
locally, the women.
Tell me what to do.
Locally,
Right.
it's
Sorry, Layla. Didn't want to hear from you.
We
giving
wanna put it
more.
that
It's
way.
giving more agency to women because it's moving it back to the state level. So locally,
But why would the state have
locally,
the
the
ability to tell
women-
me what to do?
locally-
Why would the state make murder illegal? Why would the state make rape illegal? Why should the state have anything to do about that? Anything to say? Because that's our system, dear. People decide what's best for their state with respect to law. That's why. Now, if you don't like that, you can work to change the Constitution. Feel free. We have an amendment process, 2 different ways to do it. Get on that. But you won't, will you? No.
women
multitudes
have
of
that
different
power.
areas. If you take out the viewpoint that life begins at conception, which is a
Mhm.
really big defining principle for both the
Right.
pro-life crowd, who very, very, vehemently believe that, and then obviously a lot of the pro-choice crowd do not believe that.
Mhm.
Taking that out of the equation, you do not have just whatever kind of autonomy you want as a person.
I saw your hand creep up.
The Dobbs decision for me reinforced how important important it is that we approach these issues from a cultural perspective,
Ooh.
because it reinforces something that I have told many of my colleagues and peers in the past, which is that so long as you lack a cultural consensus, any issue can become a political football that can be decided by another election cycle. And so long as there is no strong consensus, I would expect this to be our reality going forward, these extremely vitriolic and aggressive conversations until there's another miraculous consensus that brought about Roe v. Wade. But
there wasn't a consensus, though. Sir, ma'am, sorry. There wasn't a consensus. It was 9 people who decided, 7-2, I believe. Supreme Court. There was no vote. There was no people. There was nothing. It was 7 or 8 people decided. It's not a consensus, dear. Not at all.
what it more or less reinforced for me is that we're going to have more of these difficult conversations.
I want to talk about transgender issues.
Okay.
Should trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
See, that's what you got to do is you throw it back in their face. On abortion, for example. Well, no uterus, no opinion. What about trans women? Just curious. If I identify as a woman, then I can have an opinion. You just got to keep throwing it back at them, guys. If you're talking to these people, these should be mental patients, throw it back in their face. Oh, so you say men shouldn't have an opinion on that? Yes, you don't have a uterus. What about? Well, it's different. Toss it back in their face and let their heads explode. Let their brains get scrambled. It's a beautiful thing.
They're women.
As Satnar, in Ireland, on this abortion thing, the Irish voted to make it legal. Voted. And that's perfectly celebrated. That's great. Hey, wonderful, great, wonderful. Yeah, the Irish women can now have abortion. Okay. Why then is it a problem if the people in the United States vote on it? Oh, no, we can't. Anyway, enough abortion. Go on.
What's the question?
Yeah.
Trans women are women.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They are not biologically female. They might identify as a female. They might have a personality that wants to present as female. That's fine. Nobody's complaining about that. But they're not biologically female. End of story.
So I want to come at this from the position of an athlete.
Excuse me.
Wow. So I play semi-pro basketball, semi-pro volleyball. So when it comes to
they don't respect you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your personal safety. They don't care about your physical needs. They don't care about your natural desires and inclinations.
Nope.
They don't care about you.
Like I said, it doesn't matter. They just want to make things fucked up. Read Sololinsky. Doesn't matter what the trouble is, as long as there's trouble. As I said previously, if this whole transmission thing went away, they'd find something else. It doesn't matter. What matters is the revolution. And that's it. Go on.
Peter Pan doesn't care about you.
Nope.
Gonna do what he wants to do. They don't care. They don't care if you're getting your brains splashed all over the walls. They don't care if you're getting concussed. They don't care if you're losing scholarships. They don't care. They don't care. And the fact that so many women are just like cheering for this, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
like athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces. There's less opportunity in some industries.
Oh no! We're all the same.
Oh, no.
There's no such thing as biological differences.
Even if I have years more of training, sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli, hold on, Minnie.
Sorry,
Eli.
confidence can't.
Have you tried confidence, woman in the wheelchair? Just have a little more confidence. You don't need special ramps or anything. You can just fly into a building. if you have enough confidence. Yes?
He benched what a guy benches.
I don't
Confidence can't
understand why
make
you
me
guys are
6'7".
so hostile. She's sharing her
And confidence
experience
can't make
in
me
a
6'7".
specific
No, she's
field.
sharing
And I'd have to
trans
go.
No, she's
yeah.
not. She's
She's okay. So she's the misogynist because
Mhm.
she doesn't want to get her face kicked in by a dude in a dress.
she's a woman who's
Actually, Pearlie's she's a big woman. She'd probably kick a lot of guys' asses, to be honest with you.
experience. You guys are like, meh, meh, meh. But when you're like, I'm a black person that did this, 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 and this, then it's valid and
Well,
fair.
if I'm a person of color, everything's great because I'm special. I'm fucking Superman.
Viable.
Eli, I want to give you the chance to respond.
So this is basically a joke of a talking point. Everyone
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Except you're right in the wrong way. You don't.
has biological advanced sports. How tall are you?
Yeah, everybody has biological advantages in sports. You know, that's why we have weight classes in wrestling, or why we have weight classes in boxing, or why we have weight classes in the octagon. It's why we have separate people according to their general freaking size. So you don't have a 300-pound monster beating the living fuck out of a 110-pound lightweight. Duh. What don't you understand? Just curious.
5'11" and a half. I'm
I am a trans woman. You would crush me. You would absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much. Mhm. And your point would be what? What is your point?
bone density, wrist strength, muscle density. You can't switch those.
Yeah, exactly. You would crush me.
But also, Eli, you would never
Excuse me, Eli. Just get some confidence. If you just have confidence, you'll be fine.
play at the level that Pearl plays because you would never get there.
So let me give you
Ooh, a little gentle back slap there, Sid. I didn't notice that the first time.
a few more examples here too. So Michael Phelps produced more lactic acid.
Lactic acid makes your muscles hurt, doesn't it? Now, I'm no bodybuilder. The only part of my body I build is my beer gut. But I thought lactic acid is what kind of makes your muscles feel bad. Maybe if you bodybuilders here in the chat, is that true? Is it lactic acid that gives your muscles the pain? I don't know. Probably. Maybe. Who knows?
In his body, which caused him to.
It doesn't matter because he's full of shit. Oh, Sydney, your looks are precious.
Other than any of his competitors. This was widely celebrated. And nobody.
And did Michael Phelps compete against a bunch of girls? Did Michael Phelps compete against women? No. Again, Peter Pan, what's your fucking point?
They contested it. Now, this is in performance.
It's shocking. It's shocking. I'm just sitting there like, I can't even. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I thought lactic acid was like lactose, like in milk or something. Again, we better get Undead Chronic on here. He could probably help us out with this.
Not even. It's shocking.
It is.
Enhancing hormone. So we all have.
I don't know about that.
Different, I'm not saying that trans women who aren't on hormones, but
we all have different bodies. That's why we have different classes in sports. So it's not so hard, really. Peter Pan.
Every major medical and every major sports organization agrees that trans women
participated.
That's misinformation, by the way. I'm referencing several different studies.
Look at Sid going, oh my goodness, what is this shit? You people are crazy. Exactly. That is correct, Sydney.
Woman and a researcher.
It's getting personal. I don't want it to be
personal. A lot of us
personal.
live in this space where we're told that our opinions don't count because they're not the right kind of opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're constantly shouted over and talked over, regardless of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course, it's frustrating.
We didn't do that last time. Did you hear the cackling witch? Badge girl.
the right kind of opinions, and we're constantly shouted over and talked over regardless
Listen.
of what we look like, because there's one group in society that basically takes precedence, and it's frustrating. So yeah, of course it's frustrating because when we try to talk about it, we get shouted down, we get
Layla, you must have had to take a shower after this. I swear to God, how could you have sat next to this person for 3 hours? Oh my God.
to be quiet. We get spoken down too as well. So
Okay,
yeah,
I
there's
think-
hostility there for plenty of women.
Yeah, if you're white, straight, and in this case a female, well, you're the enemy. Don't you know, Sydney? You suffer from internal misogyny and all that other shit.
Let's try to make this an opportunity to speak.
You're
to
literally a
each
white
other
woman from
that-
Australia. You live in a bubble and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard.
That's why they have
Voices have been silenced forever. I mean, guys, how could you not understand? This is a mental disorder. What the hell is she talking about? My voice has been silenced for where? In Afghanistan? Probably. In the United States? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Jesus, God almighty.
Finally can be heard.
That's why they have the voice, because they speak up.
Okay, we're having a
Mhm.
Oh my God, I didn't see her reaction. She's just
Down,
like,
we get told to be quiet. We get spoken
Like
down too as
hyena.
well.
I think you
Okay.
should be wearing a full body hazmat suit there. That chick is fucking toxic.
There's hostility there for plenty of women.
Let's try to make this an opportunity to speak.
You're
with
literally a
each
white
other
woman
that-
from Australia. You live in a bubble and you're pissed that voices that have been silenced forever finally can be heard.
That's why they
Okay,
have
well, Sydney was born in the United States, grew up in Australia, and now lives in Texas. So I know I'm nitpicking here, but there you go.
the voice because they speak up.
This is about free and equal participation for transgender
Oh.
people in social life.
Okay,
And-
so why is it so hard then to participate in your given biological gender? Mm-hmm.
The right sees this as a socially acceptable way to begin to remove trans people from different engagements in our society.
Nobody's trying to remove trans people from anything. You fucking liar. No one. No one says we need to put those trans people in a gulag somewhere. Got to get them out of society. They're the enemy. Nobody is fucking saying that. The only thing that's fairly said is we don't want our children to be indoctrinated into this bullshit when they're 5. That's it. If you want to be trans, be trans. Go. Have fun. You want to get the surgery. Have a day. If you're an adult, 18 plus, have a good time. Nobody gives a shit. Peter Pan. Nobody cares. No one's trying to erase you. No one gives a shit. Apathy. Have fun. And then when this isn't special enough, you're going to do something else to get attention, right?
So it does just start with sports or bathrooms, something that they find is more acceptable. And then at this point, they start to move into education, getting trans teachers fired, banning trans books.
Yes, to 5-year-old children. Mm-hmm. Just like if it was a heterosexual book. Doesn't matter. They're kids. Little Jesus. They're children. They don't need to know the P goes in the V or the P goes up the ass. It doesn't fucking matter to them. They are kids. You can make the argument when they're 12, 13. You can talk to them about it. When they're 5, get the fuck out of here. Instead of teaching them about this kind of crap, give them arithmetic. Give them English. Give them a second language when they're young. Give them all kinds of stuff. Teach what they need. They don't need this when they're 5. You got me. Do you feel me? Do you?
this is a route that is very effective because it's seen as more acceptable.
One too many.
One.
One too many.
Leah Thomas is the only one.
Too many.
If women's sports were actually going to end in some way.
Up at the beginning, how does that tie into femininity?
Which
Femininity. Did you hear that? Femininity. Good Lord.
is, like I was talking about before, barriers and friction, less value I will have for society. Privileges. I used to have thinness and now I'm getting fatter. Things are changing. And I think every single—
Why does that make you any less valuable? It doesn't. So you're a little hefty. So am I. Does that make me less of a human being? No. Actually, it makes you more of a human in a certain way.
time that we talk about feminism.
This is literally just people being jealous. Like the
That's
left
just
is
bullshit is
literally
what
a
it
group
is,
of
yeah.
people who are jealous
I
of
hear you.
people who have things that they want and covet.
They
And-
want them, and they want them for free. They want to be a CEO, but they don't want to have to work for it. They want the high-paying job, but they don't want to go to school to take engineering. That's what this is. And you're right, Layla. It's jealousy. It's envy. Isn't envy one of the deadly sins? I think so.
And them getting mad that they don't have it. Like, it's so stupid.
Pretty privilege should be discussed because we have these
Okay.
ideas. If you
Watch, if they had their way, pretty privilege would be removed because like anyone who is seen as like particularly attractive would like have some scarring done or something happen to them so that they couldn't be more pretty than others.
I mean, they're so out of gas, Layla, on this women are oppressed shit. Well, now if you're good looking, you've got privilege. Yes, you do. What the fuck you gonna do about it? We're all given a hand when we're born. We're dealt a hand, and that's the way it is. Skin color, gender, what we look like. Are you gonna sit there and bitch? Oh, well, I wasn't born pretty, so I'm gonna. I wasn't born good looking. What am I gonna do? It's silly. But that's how out of gas these people are. Now we're going for, well, if you're good looking. What happened to equal rights? Has nothing to do with equal rights because women already have them. Go on.
So
your skin tone is this look like.
I saw a
I think a lot of times the women that complain about beauty standards don't complain about them when they got privilege, when they were young and attractive and thin. We get.
As a Black woman, one of the most integral parts of the beauty conversation has been colorism. I'm a dark-skinned Black woman, proud of it and proud of being myself. For the most part, I did not. Why am I going to cry about this?
I don't know.
I did not grow up thinking I was beautiful because
why?
I was that, and I think
they're a very attractive woman. What's the problem?
In the Black space, we have these conversations, but I think I'm glad to bring it up because I think feminists actually really should be part of the colorism topic because colorism is not just shades within being Black. It's shades because they're, again, the beauty standard is the closer to whiteness you are, the more beautiful you are.
I think it's not necessarily true. Not really at all, actually.
It's something that.
Yeah, but how did that standard get set? That's a whole other conversation. If your culture doesn't also value it, because colorism exists in the Black community, because they value that. Okay. But anyway, everything's a psyop. Everybody was brainwashed into doing this for hundreds of years, and there's no way to counteract it. Okay. Yeah. Even though we're all very much aware of it, I don't know. The whole colorism thing, it's sad because it's like steeped in the Black community itself. It's honestly, I mean,
right. Lighter skinned Black people are looked down upon for being too white. It's just bullshit. She's not an unattractive person. Now, I don't know why her parents didn't tell her or whatever. I don't know what happened to her in her youth. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. You're fine. You're nothing wrong with you.
If more people
Oh, but there is, because you're not white. Jesus Christ.
in different shades, particularly white women, because of knowing that standard.
Actually, I think the hottest chick here is Layla, to be honest. And I don't think she's white. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's a fetish, isn't it? If a white guy, she's a brown woman, you must have a fetish. Jesus Christ.
And we work. That's why people feel like you have to be a Black feminist, because it's a topic that only really Black feminists are talking.
Morris.
Things themselves because they fall into this trap of thinking that you have to be this way. And if you aren't this way, then there's something inherently wrong at your core, which is nonsense. You're perfect the way you are.
No one's perfect. Sorry. You are perfect being you because you're you. You're 100% totally efficient at being yourself.
Okay, so in one sense, yes, that's true, because you have to have like a positive mindset about yourself. You have to like love yourself in order to stop doing the negative things that cause you to be unhealthy. So yeah, you have to love yourself, but you can also love yourself and acknowledge you have some things you can improve on, obviously.
That's literally.
I was going to say, yeah, beauty in the industry is exploitative, but also we have to remember a lot of the beauty standards are based around health, what's perceived as health, like symmetry, certain weights, things like that. So there is that side where we have to balance it, and I think
there is that old lizard brain stuff, for evolution or God or whatever, put it in our heads. You know what I'm saying?
we're seeing so much more representation, which I think is incredibly important.
Well, I just think that like.
Yeah, there's no such thing. It's not biological. Yeah, it is, because when you're looking to reproduce with someone and you're actually engaged in like life, yeah, you want to know that they have good genes. That's kind of.
I mean, it's really, God. I mean, if someone has a deformity, for example, they have 3 eyeballs or something. It's sorry, not being discriminatory, not saying you're not a useful person or a full human being, but in the gene pool, it's not going to be good for you. It's just the way that works.
Kind of what it is. Like, it has a purpose. I know for certain communities, there's no purpose to anything because they're not there to fulfill the goal of life and reproduction in any way. Like, they're not based on that. So yeah, I guess there's no purpose to looking a certain way. I don't know. For them, there isn't. But yeah, you definitely want to have certain cues, physical cues.
I mean, genetics is a lottery. That's the way it is. But you will notice. Well, we'll get into that on another video.
To help identify a mate.
Like, if women really cared about beauty standards, like the obesity rate wouldn't be what it is.
But what
Let's
about
try
you?
to attain the beauty standards. I mean, I just think like some people.
What about you, Pearl? You fat ass. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
But what about you? She's not fat. Where's she fat?
She's not fat. She's 5'11". She's an athlete, for Christ's sake. What?
An athlete. How's she fat?
I don't know.
More attractive. Some people are less attractive.
Oh, she's got a little gut going on here. Oh my God.
It's just, where would I rate myself 1 to 10?
Oh, we're not rating. It's okay.
That's what I mean. Like, I just think like some people
So
are more
if you
attractive.
are overweight, you don't care about beauty standards.
Well,
is that right?
Like the point is that the beauty standard is thin, right?
Your standard?
Obesity comes from men and women, though.
No, it's the human standard. Humans have this innate shit in their lizard brain to understand certain things. A morbidly obese person is not healthy. Not a good way to get your genetics passed on to posterity. I mean, complain about evolution and Mother Nature. We're hardwired. Just like the fight or flight response. Oh, well, we shouldn't do that. Well, you're right, we shouldn't. But we do. Because that's... hey.
You're right. That's true. But I'm saying if women really wanted to fit the beauty standard,
They
they would be thin.
I know, I just, from my experience as well, as growing up again in a mostly white
For you non-Hungarian people, that means what the fuck in Hungarian. Istenem.
neighborhood where, but I was always comparing myself to literally other people who have a different body type, but I wasn't, I was considered other or to something.
I can't.
Because it didn't conform to that body.
I mean, I'm terribly sorry that you had a hard upbringing as a child. I really am. But you're a good-looking chick. You made it through whatever bullshit you went through. You made it. Now you're here. You're a sentient human being. You're an adult. Why don't you get off the crazy train and come to reality?
I don't get this idea of like, I don't know. It's really hard for me to like relate to this. Like, I compared myself to other people and I got upset and it was hurtful and everything. And I've never had that thought cross my mind. I've never said, oh, I wish I could look like this. I never wish I could look like that. Or I could be like this. Like, you know, maybe models. Yeah, you look at models, but
Sure,
models come in
yeah.
all the different, like, it has a certain like physique to it and things like that. Yeah, you can be like that. But like, oh, I wish I could have different skin, or I wish I could have this or different or this. It's like, I don't get that.
I mean, the extreme was, for example, Michael Jackson. For some reason, despite his fame, his talent, fucking brilliant, genius musician, singer, performer. He didn't like being black. And he went to extreme measures to become white. Now, aside from Michael Jackson being a musical genius, one of the best ever, the guy had a mental problem. There's nothing wrong with the way he looked. He didn't like it. And eventually it killed him. Go on.
Like myself. I don't know. So it's kind of hard. I never related to that. But I guess, you know, it happens with certain people in certain circumstances.
I mean, you know, you guys know the Michael Jackson Beatles story, right? Maybe you haven't heard that. Anecdotally, it was said that Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney got together and they did a couple songs, Stay, 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 and That Girl's Mine, a couple of years, well, I guess 1983. And Paul said something to Michael Jackson on the order of, yeah, you know, you should get into music publishing. That's where all the money is. And so what did Michael Jackson do? He bought the Beatles catalog. Paul McCartney didn't mean that. He was talking about other stuff.
I don't know.
And that same body type became popular. City, and a lot of, you know, Black communities, of the fact that when it was on Black skin, it was an issue.
Feminism, big picture. We're going to try again. Is feminism dead?
Yes. And it's a mental disorder at this point. Go on.
I'm thankful to be a participant and believer of it.
Nice look, Sydney. Nice look.
I think feminism is very much alive and well.
As far as the West goes, I think that feminism has been cannibalized by other movements like leftism, like transgenderism.
So I think feminism is very much alive and well. I think it takes different forms depending on who you're talking to, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And as I've defined in the beginning, for me, I use it as a lens. So I don't think I'll ever stop having it in my arsenal, if you will.
Okay, well, that's fine. But please, at some point, acknowledge there's no point to it anymore. All the rights are already there.
Thanks for a good advice panel.
Even for trans people. No one cares if you're trans.
Okay, we're done.
Finally.
I appreciate everybody taking the time. I know this is, it got a little heated at times, but thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can I stand up now? Oh my
Jesus,
god.
Curly is tall. Holy shit.
Are we actually
Oh.
it's really done?
I love arguing.
I don't think I have that long in a relationship.
That was wild. Drama. It was nerve-wracking.
Some of the people on the panel were entirely subsumed in misinformation.
Subsumed in misinformation. Yeah, you were. Oh, you got that right.
I think that we women need to stick together and figure out what a woman is.
We were all loud, outspoken women.
Some people are soft.
I hate the idea that we're not supposed to be angry about it. It's okay to be angry about being oppressed.
It was like
Except you're not, though. But believe in whatever delusion you'd like to believe in there, sweetheart. That's fine. You're welcome to be delusional.
Just stick together and figure out what a woman is.
We were all loud, outspoken women.
Some people are soft.
I hate the idea that we're not supposed to be angry about it.
Angry about what? Angry about your situation. You genetically got the shitty end of the stick. I understand. I would be angry too. But you don't have to join this mentally ill cult. What good is feminism doing for you as a disabled person or a differently abled person? Nothing. You're a useful idiot, dear. When are you going to understand that?
It's okay to be angry about being oppressed.
it was
You're not oppressed.
like surprising to get tone policed on camera by a white woman.
Tone policed. Oh my God. Weren't you the woman who said something like, Sydney is a perfect white woman? Who was tone policing you? Were you doing the same, perhaps? I don't know.
I don't know why everything has to become about me being a white person, as if that's
Because you're evil. You're a Nazi. Sid, come on. You know it.
somehow circumvents my opinions on issues.
You got a big white hood in your closet. You know it. You live in Texas. Do I need to say anything else?
The personal is political. The political is personal.
We need to have more spaces where we have literal political ideologies of different backgrounds.
Feminism is always and has been a hate
A
group.
toxic
Feminism-
hate group. Yes. And a mental illness at this point.
Isn't
What?
dead in America.
Why is she sitting on the computer? Like, what is she doing?
Oh, I wonder who designed that computer. Oh, I hate men.
So wound up. I was so
I know,
like,
right?
this is hilarious. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you like? You can't take a day.
Yeah. I think feminism is doing its best.
I'm ready for a glass of wine.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
So it was just crazy seeing like in a person, like you watch it on TV and you're just like, whoa, in person, it's like so draining and so ridiculous. And the whole time I was there, I was sitting there, I was just trying not to like burst out and like make something so that they could, make me look bad. Like, I didn't want to do that.
Well, if they could have, they would have. Because you're evil and toxic. Layla, you're toxic.
Because obviously, I mean, look what they did to Sydney. Like they put like her
Right.
gross picture on the cover and like, I just feel like they were going to use anything they could to make it worse. But yeah, like at some point during the abortion thing, I was talking about, again, why is it that we don't help women? Why is the left attacking women who want to live out their role as women? Like,
Because they're not following the fembot rules. That's why. Oh, God. If you want to really get excited, go look at some feminists ripping up some so-called trad cons. Women want to stay home. Oh, I just want to be a stay-at-home. Oh, my God. It's fucking insane.
reproductive role.
Mhm.
And Peter Pan like started screaming. I was like so
Mhm.
shocked. I was like so shocked. So it was like a really crazy really intense thing. I do not recommend going on Vice for the first, like, if your first time being on TV is going on, if you're conservative, and the first time going on TV is a leftist organization like Vice, I don't recommend it. It's going to be very challenging.
What I would recommend, Layla, is if you're ever invited again, tape it yourself. Tape the whole 3 hours and release it. That's what I would do.
I mean, obviously the production, everybody was super professional, kind, nice, professional.
Right.
There was no anything weird or anything like that, but just you're going to be edited like in a certain light. And yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. Having to deal with leftists is a lot just in general. But anyway, so that's my I'm glad I was able to get this out. I tried to, if it was difficult for you to get through, can you imagine 4 hours? Just think about
that. Yeah. Indeed. What time is it? Oh, 2:30. How are you guys? Jeremy Sears said, what? Hey, no. She's mine, bro. She is attractive. Yeah. She's pretty hot looking. The Godfather, nice. Lies by 2. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Same old shit, different day. Bitchy and catty. Indeed. Bitchy and catty. Godfather says, I have not had this much fun since forever. Well, I'm glad you're having a good time at 2:30 in the morning. 25-year-old grandpa incel. Show the meme I emailed you, hamster fuck. Okay, I probably will. Right now, though, I gotta wrap it up. I gotta go to bed. I gotta go to work. Well, sort of. Well, partially. That's fine. What did Sadanar say? Can't. Oh. If I can. Oh, okay. All right. Ash Blackwood. Yes. Do have a glass of wine, please. Let Sarah the Raging Tomato pour your. Well, that was fun. It's interesting to hear from an actual person that was there. Sydney's got her story. I don't know if Pearlie did her story. She probably did. But this is like just a woman here. You know, it's like, hey, this was kind of fucked up. I'm a conservative, which is interesting all by itself, right? But she's conservative and she was good. Okay. The link is in the description. Gentlemen, you have a wonderful night. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.